Yeah, can we start?
Yes, think
Okay.
so.
So, good evening, everyone. Myself Aditya Garg, Joint Secretary of the Geoinformatics Club. I am a student of Part 2 of Civil Engineering Department, and I will be the host for today's session. It's so good to see you all on the 8th workshop of Skills Bootcamp. Finally, the day has come to all the geoinformatics enthusiasts. This session will give you an introduction to the topics ranging from basic terminologies of GIS to the emerging advanced technologies involving uses of AI, unmanned vehicle systems, and drones. Be it ordering from restaurant aggregators such as Zomato, Swiggy, etc., and getting it delivered at your doorstep or hiring an Uber at your precise location, these daily conveniences are made possible using geographical data. You might be wondering how. So, to enlighten about many other applications like this and to give insights about the geospatial world, today we have Mr. Rishabh Purohit, Secretary of the Geoinformatics Club from Civil Engineering Department Part 3, and Mr. Mohit Agrawal, Joint Secretary of the Geoinformatics Club from Civil Engineering Department Part 3 with us. Yeah, so you can start, Bia.
Okay. So thank you, Aditya. So hello everyone. This is Rishabh, and with me is
Myself, Mohit Agrawal.
and yes. So after all that introduction, uh, I should jump right into it. Okay, let's start. So GIS or geoinformatics or geographic information system or geographical information system. There are so many names of this thing. So what is GIS? So I would before starting or telling you before I start telling you about the definition of what is GIS and go into the details, I would like to do a little brainstorming here. So you see Uber and Ola. Uber and Ola are everyone must have used Uber and Ola, right? At some place or some somewhere you have to go to rent a cab. Okay, so they are one of the largest cab services company in the world, but they own no vehicle of their own. Airbnb, the largest accommodation provider, but they own no real estate. Now Swiggy, Zomato, everyone must have ordered from Swiggy, Zomato, right? Like you also see the ads in YouTube. They keep bugging us, right? So they don't have any restaurant of their own, and they are doing all this publicity, right? So what is common here? Like, what is the most basic thing that is common in all these three and many more things? Like, what is common here? So a simple word: GIS, Geographic Information System, or you can say GIS is common here, right? So now I will be telling you about geoinformatics. Okay. So what is geoinformatics? So geoinformatics is made up of two words, geo and informatics. Geoinformatics is an integration of technologies that deal with geospatial geospatial information management and its analysis. Okay, so and its analysis. So, what is geospatial information first of all? So, geospatial information is anything any object or entity that is present on the surface of the earth. Now, that object or entity will be having some location data, like coordinate data, you can say latitude and longitude. So, suppose we can say it in this way. So, suppose there is a party at your friend's house. Okay, तो पार्टी आपको घर रास्ता नहीं पता सो दे आर मैनी वेज बाय विच यू कैन गो टू योर फ्रेंड्स हाउस राइट सो सबसे पहले तुम उसे एड्रेस पूछोगे एड्रेस पूछ लिया अब या तो तुम कॉल पे रहो उसके साथ और पूछते पूछते पहुंच जाओगे वहाँ उसके घर तक सेकेंड तरीका और तरीका है दूसरा तरीका है आपके पास कि आप वहाँ आसपास पूछो जाके लोकेलिटी में कि इसका घर क्या है इसका घर क्या है ऑब्वियसली नहीं करोगे ठीक है फिर तीसरा तरीका है जो आपने गूगल मैप्स पे खोला फ़ोन को सर्च किया सीधा व्हाट इज़ द एड्रेस थोड़ा बहुत डाला आसपास का वहाँ पहुँच गए और फिर फ़ोन लगा के पूछ लिया और पहुँच गए तुम उसके घर सो और एक और तरीका है तुम्हारे पास तुम उससे अपनी व्हाट्सएप पे लोकेशन मंगवा लो तो वो बंदा जहाँ पे खड़ा है द प्लेस दैट इज स्टैंडिंग राइट नाउ उस प्लेस के कोऑर्डिनेट्स तुम्हारे पास आ जाएंगे फ़ोन में एक्स वाई कोऑर्डिनेट्स लेटीट्यूड लॉन्गिट्यूड डेटा अब उनको यूज़ करके तुम वो ऑब्जेक्ट वो जो प्लेस है अर्थ में जो जियो स्पेशल इंफॉर्मेशन वही है उस बंदे की जो अभी वो खड़ा था तो अब तुम ट्रैकिंग वगैरह यूज़ करके नेविगेशन गूगल मैप्स कुछ भी यूज़ करके वहाँ पहुँच सकते हो आराम से so that is a kind of example of geospatial information. Okay, so geoinformatics is integration of technologies that deal with geospatial information management and its analysis. So first of all, we will be collecting some information, collecting the information in terms of we have GPS, we have remote sensing techniques. These are 5 components of geoinformatics. So these two help in collecting data. So global positioning system, or GPS, it was originally named like this in United States, but now it has become a pretty common thing. Everyone calls the satellite data the global positioning system data. Okay, so all the data that we get from the satellites, we collect the data. We collect data from remote sensing, there's a lidar systems, it comes in the remote sensing. What is remote sensing? Remote sensing is like remotely sensing some kind of data. You get satellite maps, right? So they are remotely sensed data. So that's what. Now geoinformatics. Okay, again, informatics is information and communication technologies. So when we combine data will be getting from field by doing surveys and many more. There are many techniques to collect data. So then we will be doing some analysis on the data. What is data? Data is some statics, or something that we have collected, right? Some truth that we have collected, or we know that summary, some kind of. So now we collected the data. Now ultimate aim of collecting, what is the ultimate aim of collecting any type of data in the world? The ultimate aim is nothing but to get some information out of the data, some useful information, some beneficial information, something that which gives us an opportunity, or something जिससे हमें फायदा हो. That's what is the main aim of data. So हम data collect करेंगे, हम उसके ऊपर कुछ analyze करेंगे, उसका एक geographical information system बनाएंगे, information technologies के through उसको हम communicate करेंगे, websites and all. So उससे जियोग्राफिक इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम बनेगा. इसमें और भी काफ़ी सारे कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं, ये बेसिक 5 है. Okay, so now finally we have arrived at the term GIS. So what is GIS? The GIS has these 7 components. GIS, geographic, now it was made up of 3 words, right? Geographical information system. Now you understand geography. You have got a pretty much idea of geographical information system, information like geoinformatics. And then when we create a system out of it, like a working system, then it becomes a complete geographical information system. Okay, so here we have a data, right? Then we have some analysis, then we have some maps, then we have some satellites. Now using some satellites, we will be collecting some data. Okay, now using that data, we will be plotting that location data on maps. Now, once we have plotted the location data on map, now what can we do? We have to do analysis, right? Now, analysis we will be talking a lot more about analysis in the later part of this presentation, and Mohit is also going to explain you about some network analysis, right? Then we did some analysis. Now, how can we do some analysis on them? So software is required. So some software is required for doing the analysis. There are many open source software available, right? So QGIS is one of them. So the following workshops, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, you will be working on some hands-on QGIS experiment, right? So yeah, there are many proprietary software also out there, like ArcGIS, ArcMap, ArcGIS Pro. They are used for analysis of GIS data. Now, abhi apps, you have phones, apps in your phones, open Google Maps right here, enter any location, and you can get some information about that location, or you can also navigate to that location, right? So that is basically what is what some little bit of basic idea of GIS. So I will moving on now to the proper definition of GIS. So GIS, or Geographical Information System, is a computer system. Of course, it is computer system, right? So we have to maintain all the data, and collecting all the data, we require a computer. Okay. So for capturing means collecting data. Collecting data, now there are many things that are there to collect the data. Like we can plot the data on the map. This is known as digitization technique. Digitization technique means to plot points on the data. Then storing the data. Okay, 1 second. Capturing the data. So we go into the field also to collect data. Then we have remote sensing technologies to remotely sense the data, like lidar technology. Then storing data. Now storing data means once we collect data, now we have to store it somewhere, right? in order to get some information out of it or to do some analysis on it. So we store data. There are many file formats available for storing geographical information data, like geographic data, spatial data, geospatial data, geospatial information. All these words for the same thing. So what can be the most basic? Anyone has an idea? Like what can be the most basic file format for storing geographical information data? Like anyone has an idea maybe? Okay, I will be telling you the answer, right. An Excel sheet. An Excel sheet. An Excel sheet will be containing 3 columns. One is the name of the place, something, anything, any object entity in the world, take it, anything. Then we have x coordinate, y coordinate data, latitude and longitude data. Okay, so this is we made an Excel sheet. Now this is also type way to store data, geographical information data. Then checking the data. Checking is very important, like accuracy. For in order to be in order to get precise and accurate data, we have to check our data. Then displaying data. Displaying data is plotting the data. Like once we have stored the data, now that Excel sheet also uh, uh, we can import in many softwares, all the softwares that I talk about, right? The QGIS one, in ArcGIS, everything. So all these types of different file formats can be imported, and then we can do some analysis. By relatively seeming unlimited data, GIS can help individual and organization better understand spatial patterns and relationships. So ओके सो ये सारा डेटा हमने डाल दिया एक जगह. अभी इस डेटा को यूज़ करके हम पैटर्न्स फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं ना, राइट. फिर से वही बात हो गई, डेटा को लाए अपन, डेटा को लाने के बाद अपन को इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए उसमें से बेटर. सो एनालिसिस करने होते हैं उसके लिए काफ़ी सारे, बहुत तरह के एनालिसिस है, एन नंबर ऑफ एनालिसिस, एन नंबर ऑफ एप्लीकेशन है जहाँ पर ये एनालिसिस काम आते हैं. ठीक है, तो धीरे धीरे एक दो एप्लीकेशन बात करेंगे अपन फाइनली. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. सो 3 GIS technological advancements in the last 5 years. Okay. So government agencies, non-profit organizations and private companies all benefit from innovations in GIS technologies. How government agency benefits, like if you go into the web right now and type in Bhopal city map, then you will get a Bhopal smart city map, which will show you detailed information about the Bhopal city. Like Google Maps also has one, but this also contains the government data, like offices and all, the details, the contacts about the different various offices, the ward info, the places of different hospitals, banks, everything right there. Okay. Then private companies, there is a multinational company, ISRI. Now, these type of this company deals with software technologies, right? GIS software, geographical information system software. So that is we have open source software companies also. Then there are many n number of startups that are going on in GIS. GIS still emerging, right? GIS is still in its nascent stage and still evolving at great speed. Like there was a time when websites were not so common, right? So वो समय था, मतलब जब वेबसाइट्स, एक दो वेबसाइट्स होती थी कुछ काम के हिसाब से, बाकी वेबसाइट्स तो कहीं सुना नहीं था किसी ने. तो उस टाइम जो था वेबसाइट जैसे थी, इस टाइम GIS इसी तरह से है. मतलब आने वाले समय में अभी कि सबके हर एक शॉप के हर एक सर्विस, हर चीज़ की वेबसाइट होती है, या एक अपना पोर्टफोलियो होता है स्टूडेंट्स का, CV डालते हैं, वो भी एक वेबसाइट है. ओके, so GIS is also going to come right here. So it's the future, right? So evolution. Okay. Now the evolution is GIS is far from over, right? It's still in nascent stage. It's still developing at a fast pace. Okay. So these are the three things that are in which because of these three things, GIS has been rising like it's really promising trends. मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा ही तेज़ी से ग्रो कर रहा है इन 3 फील्ड्स में. So first I will like to say real time data. So what is real time data? Real time data is the ability to is the data that is collected and simultaneously processed. Like आपने डेटा कलेक्ट किया हाथों हाथ, उसको आपने सेंड कर दिया, उस पर एनालिसिस भी हो गया हाथों हाथ, तो उसको यूज़ भी आ रहा है वो कहीं जगह पे, इस तरह से. So the ability to collect and analyze data in real time brought GIS to a whole next level. Like their development of different development, if we, new research processes in mapping systems. Then we have Uber, right? Uber, Swiggy, all these things, like so it is mostly used in navigation. Real-time data is mostly used in navigation. So suppose you book a cab, so it will be showing you the location of the cab, right? So it changes the location in real time. Then you order from Swiggy or Zomato, so it will be showing you the delivery service man, the location of the delivery service. It will constantly changing along with time. The where he goes, it will be tracing his information to get to you. So this is also, the company is also benefiting from this, right? It's all looks amusing and interesting, right? Then we have this is also a part of consumer facing information that I said. So this Zomato and Swiggy one, they are using some information to face consumers. Also, an example in consumer facing information is that we there are, these are things, many things going on, like Fitbands, right? We wear MI or Huawei Fitbands. I'm not promoting something or anything, right? Just saying. So Fitbands, wearables, fitness bands. So fitness bands collect a lot amount of data, right? So from your health steps, from your breathing exercises, from your oxygen levels to pulse rate and all those types of data. Now using these data, the people are also benefiting. So and companies also benefiting. Okay, okay, so using GIS, okay, so location data, right? So suppose you are running now, running a long stretch of 10 kilometers. Okay, so now GIS will be telling you that you have run this much, and then there will be many more calculations in between, and then he will be telling you how much calories you have burned. So according to your weight that you have entered. So these are all the data that are required. Now third is artificial intelligence. Now artificial intelligence has a huge application because of the graph or the growing nature of artificial intelligence, right? Everyone must have heard of artificial intelligence, the way it's progressing and it's boosting. So in artificial intelligence we have data. Now in GIS also we have data. So, and GIS means any type of geolocation data. Suppose any type of data you have, like you have consumer data, okay, name of consumer, like suppose you have name of customers, okay. So a shop, there is a local shop, and it is maintaining a record of all those customers that it visited there. So like you have information about that. Then why was I? It's consumer information. Now, suppose you enter their coordinates also, like the places where which shop, there are many shops, right? So which shop they buy from. So by this they can benefit, and using some machine learning algorithms they can do some decision making, right? So that's how it works. We'll be touching artificial intelligence in the later part of the presentation. So let's continue. So data. I already told you what is data, like getting information. Data is always used for getting information, nothing else. Now, these are 11 categories of data that are available, 11 or 10 to 11, and, that are available in the industry, in the market or industry, I can say, right now. Like everyone, every category has 2 to 5 more topics in them, like hospital. Now, all these data, merge them with the location data, and bam, you have a geographical information system. Like all those analysis, right? It's not so easy. It's difficult. It gets difficult so many times, but pretty much that's the idea of it. So uh, simultaneously, these various things like cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and sensor technology are growing, right? So because of them, GIS has been powered up like super. The power of maps have been exponentially increasing. No, okay. So now we will talk about the information and decision making. GIS for information and decision making. Like what are the questions we can ask? Like आपके पास एक मैप है, तो आप उससे क्या क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हो? मैप या GIS सॉफ्टवेयर है, उससे क्या क्या क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हो? क्योंकि अल्टीमेट एम क्या है? डेटा अपन क्यों कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं? अपन सबसे पहले एक प्रॉब्लम को सेलेक्ट करेंगे, उसके हिसाब से अपन डेटा कलेक्ट करेंगे, और फिर एनालिसिस वगैरह उस प्रॉब्लम के हिसाब से होगी, और जो रिजल्ट आएगा वो उस प्रॉब्लम का एक तरह का सॉल्यूशन होना चाहिए. Then moving on, uh, this is the institute map of institute campus. Are you able to see? Yes. It's a very peculiar, interesting feature, right? The Banaras Hindu University campus is in a semicircle way, if you can notice it here, right? Okay. So coming back here, so what there are two types of these things. Like first is the information by display on the map. So suppose you open your Google Maps and tap on it the nearby restaurants. So nearby restaurants. So it will show you the what are all the restaurants that are available in the present locality. So you can tap on them, get the information out of about them, get their contact info, right? Then decision making. Now what is decision making? Now suppose you got your information, or you ask the Google Maps that you need to find some restaurant. Now you have to make some decisions, right? What decisions? Like which place should I go, what is the rating, कौन सा खाना कहाँ पर अच्छा मिलता है, किस तरह का places है, पास में कौन सा है सबसे, like these are all the parts that of decision making. So there are many algorithms that are working on in the background of these Google Maps also. Like here, this is a line type of a data. Now Mohit will be explaining about data types, but I will be giving you a brief idea about it. So this is line data. Okay, we have coordinates at this point and this point. So first of all, we will be entering here Banaras Hindu University, Indian Institute of Technology. So it will show us where is the location of Indian Institute of Technology. It is around here. This is the part of IIT Varanasi. So then you will be then suppose you click on navigation. Now that's where decision making comes in. So which route to take, which part to take, which is the shortest path, which takes more time, which area takes more time, which area takes more distance. Now here time and distance will be the same, but suppose you enter 10 points here. Like in the morning, you open your map, you set 10 points. Like here you have to go. Now you want the most economical path. This is a traveling salesman problem actually. So how will we getting most economical path, like so is with starting from your starting location where you are now, it will be taking out the shortest distance from the nearest of those all those 10 places. So it will be going in a vicinity, right? So that's how it is getting its work. It's basic, right? I'm explaining from basic. Okay, so anyone might remember these things. This is a map of GTA 5, San Andreas, all the games. So mini maps in every game, right? You cannot navigate in a game without a mini map or type of a game map, right? नहीं कर सकते. आपको मैप चाहिए, आपको पता थोड़ी ना वहाँ पे जगह कैसी कैसी है. तो अभी GTA 5 में मान लो मैं खेल रहा हूँ गेम, ठीक है. अब मैंने कहीं लोकेशन मार्क की, मैंने आई सेलेक्टेड अ वे पॉइंट लाइक इन ऑर्डर टू लूट अ बैंक, sorry, in order to go to a bank, we will mark the location right here, and then it will show you the navigation or all the paths in your mini map, like where you have to go. So अब ये देख के आपको थोड़ा फील हो रहा हो कि जीआईएस सही में हम काफ़ी क्लोज है हमारे से, बट फिर भी थोड़ा बहुत कम आइडिया में, मतलब मुझे भी नहीं था इतना शुरुआत में, बट ठीक है अभी भी सीखते हैं. ठीक है. ओके. सो जीआईएस कितना क्लोज है, मतलब हम रियल लाइफ में, मतलब हम सोचते भी नहीं इतना, बट वी आर यूजिंग इट कॉन्स्टेंटली. ओके. नाउ कैब बुकिंग सर्विस, इसमें हम इंफॉर्मेशन डिस्प्ले और डिसीजन मेकिंग देखेंगे एक बार. सो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन, ये गार्ड्स का है एक्चुअली, ये फोटो गार्ड्स की है. वेयर इज द घाट, लाइक स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम घाट, दिस सामने घाट, दिस इज द रिवर गंगा in Varanasi, of course. Okay, so what is the information display? So information, what can be type of information can we get? Like availability of cab by distance, expected time of arrival, way to reach destination and distance, or tracking. Okay, just like I said before. Then what is the decision making? Like which cab you have to book, like micro, mini, prime, sedan, it is available, which is the more closer one. Which cab? This is a type of decision making work that works in the cab booking service, like how GIS solves these problems. Okay, so it all comes together like this. Now this are two data points. So can you see the red points here? All those red points. All these red points are the drop-off points and the pickup points collected by Uber or Ola. I don't know. who's collected, but I got this image from the net. So this is a LA, and then they are. Yeah, what is the use of this type of collecting this type of data? Now suppose आपने collect कर लिया है data, अब आपको क्या करना है? ये ड्रॉप ऑफ लोकेशंस है, ये पिकअप पॉइंट्स है। अब जहाँ पर अब इसमें मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम्स लगती है काफ़ी सारी। अब मशीन लर्निंग क्या होता है? मशीन लर्निंग इज अ सबसेट ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, और आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस में हमको पता ही है कि अपन कंप्यूटर को एबिलिटी टू टू थिंक, मतलब थिंकिंग एबिलिटी देते हैं इस तरह से, और वो अपन को कुछ रिजल्ट देता है उस हिसाब से। तो अपन ने इनपुट डेटा किया, इनपुट डेटा को फीड किया मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम्स को। अब इसमें क्लस्टरिंग एनालिसिस वगैरह करके काफ़ी टूल्स और टेक्निक्स और एल्गोरिथम्स होती है, क्लस्टरिंग एल्गोरिथम्स, जिससे हमें पता चल सकता है मतलब कि इससे इन्फॉर्मेशन, बेनिफिशियल इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल सकती है, जिससे कंपनी प्रॉफिट्स कमा सकती है। अभी कैसे? तो सपोज यहाँ पर जो रेड एरिया, यहाँ काफ़ी सारे पॉइंट्स है, ड्रॉप ऑफ पॉइंट्स, और यहाँ पिकअप पॉइंट्स इस एरिया में काफ़ी सारे हैं, इस एरिया में थोड़े कम है इस हिसाब से। सो तो कंपनी क्या करेगी कि इस एरिया में काफ़ी सारे वो रखेगी अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ फ्री राइड्स। ओके, सो पिकअप पॉइंट्स में यहाँ पर ज़्यादा तो यहाँ पे रखेगी, ड्रॉप ऑफ पॉइंट्स पे तो जाने की बात है, तो उस हिसाब से है। तो इन दोनों डेटा को कंपेयर करने के बाद द कंपनी कैन गैम्बल इन मिलियंस, राइट? सो moving on. So now I will be handing over to Mohit, my friend. Hello. You will be explaining your data in GIS.
Yes, thank you, Rishabh. Hello, everyone. Myself, Mohit Agrawal, third year BTech from Department of Civil Engineering. As Rishabh has already talked about that what is data and why we need it in GIS, I am going to talk about its components and types used to store data in geographic database. Like there are two important components. First is the location or spatial, and other is the attribute or non-spatial. The data which gives us the information related to location or position of an object in 3D space is known as the spatial data, and which gives us the properties of object is known as the non-spatial data. In other words, we can say that spatial data means where is it, and non-attribute data or non-spatial data means what is it. GIS data represent real-world objects like roads, elevation, land uses with digital data. These objects may be discrete like house, building, etc., or maybe continuous fields like elevation, temperature, or humidity variation. So discrete data like building soil can be stored using polygons or lines, but how to store data which is continuously changing for a small change in distance? Like we cannot draw just random points around the map. It will become highly inaccurate. So there are some methods, like there are two broad methods used to store data in GIS. For both these abstractions, like raster, first is raster and another is vector. Next page. So what is raster data types? Raster typically refers to imagery, like photos taken, you can say an example like photos taken by our mobile phone are the example of raster data. Like here in the screen you can see this is the drawn image layer of our IIT BHU campus. This is another example of raster data type. Originally this is of very high resolution. Its original size is too high that it would consume large amount of your internet data, so we imported the low resolution image just to show you in this PPT. And you may also wondering कि इतना बड़ा image drawn canvas से कैसे ले लिया? So let me tell you that this is not a single image. Yes, this is not a single image. Basically, it is the combination of multiple images taken by the drone. You see, this is the Rishabh is drawing the path followed by the drone and clicking photo in certain intervals. And by just combining these photos, we get to this high resolution image. Now, moving back to the what is raster data, what is its definition, how we define it. Like Rishabh, previous page. Thank you. So raster data type consists of rows and columns of cells, with each cell storing a single value, whether it be a color or unit of measurement. Now moving on to the vector data. So what is vector data? So vector data, like any data represented by point, line, or polygon. Point data are the simplest type of spatial data. They are zero-dimensional objects with only position space but no length. Line data have length and polygons have areas. If we add depth to the polygon, we get the continuous surface. Next slide. For example, you can see here different types of layers storing different types of data, like land uses and elevation. Land uses and elevations layers are stored using raster data. You can see different colors of cells or pixel, right? And in the customer layer, you can see point representations is used in street and in street layer line representation is used, and in the parcel layer you can see the polygons are made. So these are the example of vector data, and elevation and land uses are the example of raster data. Next slide. Again, real world data can be formed by combining these vector layer of lines and polygons with the raster layer of elevation and features. Like you can see, this is the real world. This is the vector data of this particular format, and this is the raster data. Basically, the raster data is storing the values of its height, different height at different places, and this vector data is storing the polygons of different features of the layer. And by combining this, we get our real world data. In addition to raster and vector data, there is also LiDAR data, also known as point clouds. LiDAR data is data that is collected via satellites, drones, or other aerial devices. We will learn about this in later workshops. Next slide. So before the digital data can be analyzed, they may have to undergo other manipulation. For example, projection and coordinate conversion. Why we need manipulation or changes? Because our Earth is not a flat object or 2D object. It has some curves, which if we directly show or project on a 2D paper or a screen, it will result in lot of inaccuracy and error. Similarly, we need coordinate conversions. Why we need coordinate conversion? Because each model of Earth may provide different set of coordinate. So किसी एक मॉडल का पॉइंट किसी दूसरे मॉडल पे कहीं और दिखेगा. That's why we need all these manipulations. अगर अपन डायरेक्टली किसी भी डेटा सेट को डायरेक्टली अगर एनालिसिस करने लग जाएंगे और अपन ने कभी इस पे प्रोजेक्शन पे ध्यान नहीं दिया और नहीं उस पे कन्वर्जन पे ध्यान दिया, तो काफी सारी एरर आ जाएगी. So you can see here in the screen that how we projected the 3D image to a 2D plane. Like map is another example. Next slide. Okay. Now let's talk about the future of GIS and its possible application. GIS and IoT. So here IoT means Internet of Thing. Like अभी हम लोग क्या करते हैं, अभी most places में we collect data by human effort, that is by sending some person to a particular place and he will collect all the data, लेकिन वो फिर real time data नहीं रहता. So using sensor technology we can get all the information automatically and we can build GIS model based on real time data. For example, I can say an example like in transportation, we can collect data about vehicle activities using these sensors and AI technology. And from that data, we can build a GIS model for better traffic system using the parameters like number of vehicles कहाँ ज़्यादा है, कहाँ पे जाम लगने के चांस ज़्यादा हो सकते हैं, etc. इनको सबको यूज करके अपन बना सकते हैं. ट्रैफिक के अलावा शायद we can do route planning. As Rishabh has already talked about कि जैसे कौन सा रूट सबसे एफिशिएंट है, जैसे गूगल मैप में अपन देख सकते हैं. So based on traffic system कौन से रूट से अपन इस स्टॉप से होके जल्दी से निकल सकते हैं. So this will save about a lot of time. Next slide. Like using smart vehicles. Smart vehicles से अपन transmit data to authorities for urban traffic management and road safety. So ये जो स्मार्ट व्हीकल्स के जरिए लाइक सेंसर्स हो गए और स्मार्ट व्हीकल्स हो गए, इनसे अपन सारे डेटा ट्रांसफर कर सकते हैं. सो उससे अपन ट्रैफिक प्रेडिक्ट कर सकते हैं और हेल्प अथॉरिटीज टू इंक्रीज रोड सेफ्टी. रोड सेफ्टी लाइक कहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा एक्सीडेंट्स हैं, तो उस एरिया को अपन आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं और उनकी रोड सेफ्टी कंडीशंस बढ़ा सकते हैं. So next topic is indoor mapping. So what is indoor mapping? जैसे कि नाम से पता चल रहा होगा कि indoor mapping means mapping of interior part of building. Like इसके लेकिन इसका यूज क्या है ना. Like कभी कभी होता है ना कि हम लोग ऐसी सिचुएशन में पड़ जाते हैं कि डेस्टिनेशन पे तो आ गए, लेकिन सपोज करो किसी मॉल पे आ गए, लेकिन अपन हम अंदर आगे का रास्ता कहाँ है कि पार्टिकुलर शॉप कहाँ पे मिलेगी अपन को कुछ नहीं पता चलता. Like we are suppose करो like we are new in our campus and we want to locate the lab of certain department or we want to locate certain sections like in hospital. We cannot use Google Map in this situation. So using indoor mapping, it will become easy for students who are new to the campus to locate certain objects. Now Rishabh will tell you more future aspect of GIS in AI and machine learning.
Okay, hello. Thank you, Mohit. It was really wonderful. Okay, so Now we will talk about the application of AI and the machine learning techniques. We will just touching upon them in combination with GIS and remote sensing. So this is an image, a satellite image. What is it showing? Like what are different things that it can show? Like we can identify these are the buildings. These are here some trees or some park area maybe. These are some grounds. Okay, so these are we can identify them just by looking at them. But when it comes to computer recognizing these things, that requires a lot amount of data. So huge number of images that are required to train the machine learning or deep learning models in order to get the in order to make the computer realize that this part of that image is the building, this green part or the green area and these type of structures is the park or some kind of garden area, and this part, this really plain and according to the color, this is grounds, plain grounds area. So artificial intelligence is the okay. So artificial intelligence is the way in which we give the computers the ability to think, and they think and give us the results according to them. So how will the results? We input data to a computer, so the results will be more or less similar to the type of data that we feed into the system. Now, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Now, in machine learning, we train. There are many types of algorithms, n number of algorithms, and they are in machine learning and deep learning and these technologies. Research is still going on. So similar to GIS. So at combining machine learning with GIS, combining the data, geolocation data with machine learning, and when we can get some beautiful results like. Here in machine learning, we train supervised models, unsupervised models. Uh, Now we have deep learning. Now deep learning is a subset of machine learning again, but in here we give machine the ability to recognize images. We require the machine to recognize images here, right? It is kind of an image. So what do we do? I will be touching upon this part a little bit. So suppose we have this aerial image. Now we will input some ground truth labels, like we will say that this green part is the plain type area. This uh, gray colored parts are the ground area. These are forest area, and these are the roads or places. And these are also houses. White colors are houses, right? So we will be labeling them. Labeling means we will be marking on them, like this one is this thing, this one is this thing, and then we will ask the computer to give back our results. What can you are you able to predict them? So predictions after one epoch. So what is epoch? Epoch is the machine learning terminology. Epoch means simply means a repetition. Like how many repetitions has the machine learning or deep learning model is being done. So so here we can see that there are a lot of distortion in the prediction. So after training 250 epochs, we can see quite good results. So it helps us in getting some opportunities, right? So by recognizing these things, we can do many things like land use data. We can get land use data. We can also see land change, the change in land. We like what are changes in here. Suppose this is the image taken in 2005 and this taken in 2015. So in 10 years, what are the changes that have been taken place in the area? So that is all we can do based on this deep learning and change detection, these things. Now here, this is the best example of where GIS where meets deep learning. Okay, so can you see these pink boxes right here? These are really small. Look at these places, like they are really really small. So suppose these are the bigger house, these are the smaller houses and in the locality. So using machine learning, the computer marks for us. The computer marks these areas for us and gives them back as the results. So now this data can be used in many places. Like this data can be used by government agencies or government agencies for taxation or land use, and can be used also by environmental point of view in order to check out what are the natural resources management also. So all those things. Machine learning has a huge application. Now this is the transportation thing. So suppose this is a machine learning video in which there are bounding boxes here. You can see, if you can see bounding boxes, it is recognizing and telling us that here these things are moving. So using sensors and all those things and combining them with the location data, we can also create a type of network, just like Mohit said earlier, in order to prevent accidents and all those things. Many applications. Like I cannot simply tell you about the amount of applications that GIS has. AI plus GIS has. Now we have augmented reality and virtual reality, application of GIS in augmented reality. Now suppose अब अभी मान लो कि हम फ्यूचर में आए बहुत आगे. अब क्या होगा, हमारे पास एक ऐप होगा, एक फ़ोन खोला अपन ने. अब अपन गए एक शॉप में. अभी अपन को सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक चाहिए, माउंटेन ड्यू चाहिए. ओके, सो मैं शॉप में जाऊँगा, मैं कैमरा खोलूँगा, तो उसमें टाइप करूँगा कि कैमरा क्या एप्लीकेशन खोलूँगा, जो भी एप्लीकेशन है. सो एंड उसमें आई विल टाइप सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक्स एरिया. सो देन इट विल शो मी, it will augment some part of the virtual reality into our own reality, like the Snapchat filters. If you everyone must have used Snapchat at a point of time, like it shows some augmented things. Like, so in GIS this can be used by indoor mapping. First of all, indoor mapping is really important if you want to know which places and which things are kept where. So we kept there, then it will show you the directions. It can show you the directions of where we have to go. This is like really futuristic. I mean, this is really hard to implement. It looks really nice and interesting by and amazing by just by looking at, but it's really difficult to implement in real life. So you only can think like what are different algorithms and number of process and analysis that will be going on in the background of this simple and sweet and beautiful result. Okay, so smart cities. Now we have moved to smart cities. So smart cities meets GIS. The smart cities has all these type of components, like traffic management, education system, education places, smart home, street lights, smart parking. These are all here. And similar to the smart city, we Geo Club members have also made an application of web application, like smart campus web application. So suppose you want to go to geoinformatics. We will be showing a demonstration in the last part of the presentation. So I will be just briefly touching all these things. So what is Smart City WebGIS portal? What are the questions that we can ask to a WebGIS portal of a smart city? Okay, so the queries and information similar to Google Maps, very much similar to Google Maps. Like enter the information, what do you want to know, and it will show you the information. What are different places? Like suppose you want to go to the shop, and you call it before. Like enter the name of the shop in the Google Maps. You get their contact details and you contact them before going to the place. Suppose you are open or not. Like, so it will save you time, right? It's really interesting, right? Okay, then we have around me widget. Around me widget or around me widget is something like a tech part, a component that of a smart city portal. Now around me will be telling you the places that are nearby you. Uh, you can also select the area in which you want to search. Like suppose you are walking, you are on fit, and आपको पास वाली जगह से सबसे पास वाली जगह चाहिए, तो यू दिस widget का यूज करके आप जा सकते हो. This type of things. And now grievances, like for conditions also, कि जैसे issue आ गया कोई, मान लो हॉस्टल में पानी बंद हो गया, then you can just on point mark that thing in your phone, like this place, and also write about the issue and complain, and then the authorities can come more faster. It will be much faster reaction, right? And everything will be done in by using your smartphone in your hands. Now events we all know, nothing too much, but adding events to smart city portals will increase much widely impact and improve the facilities or the management, organization management, will help with more easier management of by the organization that is conducting that event. That's what. Now, public announcements, yes. If smart city portals are start coming up, right? Like suppose the city where you live in, it has a smart city portal. Now, if there is a new law or a new type of act that is being implemented in your city, like or maybe vaccination is also starting. From the vaccination is starting from 16th Jan right now. So that kind of announcement can also be made there. So people, just like people are using WhatsApp, if people will be using smart city web GS portals pretty much soon in the future. This is really close. We are really close to this thing. Now we will be coming to city design plans and urban design environments. So इस इमेज में क्या है? इस इमेज में ओरिजिनली जो वो इमेज ली गई है, ये ओरिजिनल इमेज है एक एरिया की, और इस एरिया में डिज़ाइन प्लानिंग और डिज़ाइन के हिसाब से स्ट्रक्चर्स वगैरह बनाए हुए हैं। मतलब कि अगर इधर से इस तरह का डिज़ाइन करना है, अर्बन सिटी प्लानिंग करनी है तो कर लो, इसमें आप ऐड करके देख लो कैसा कैसा लग रहा है। अब इसका क्या यूज़ कर सकते हैं अपन? इसका एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट यूज़ है कि जैसे आपने ये बड़ी सी बिल्डिंग या खड़ी कर दी, ठीक है, बना दी, स्ट्रक्चरल इंजीनियर सिविल इंजीनियर्स हैं, बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं, खड़ी कर दी। अभी यहाँ पर एक पीछे घर था, वहाँ पे जो डे लाइट के 6-7 आवर्स जो आ रहे थे, रोज आ रहे थे, हर दिन आ रहे थे, अब इस बड़ी सी बिल्डिंग की वजह से नहीं आएंगे। तो उस एरिया की बायोलॉजी, केमिकल चेंजेस, फिजियोलॉजी सब चेंज होने वाली है। तो ये सब एनालिसिस होता है, ये सब जीआईएस के थ्रू पॉसिबल है। लाइक ये प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं। अगर मान लो वहाँ पर कुछ ऐसी जगह है जब जिसको कंटिन्यूसली नर्सरी टाइप है, तो अब उसको चाहिए ना इंफॉर्मेशन, एक रिसर्च ऑफिस है या फिर कुछ भी है, तो उसको चाहिए सनलाइट। तो दिस कैन बी प्रिवेंटेड एंड ऑल्सो इट हेल्प्स इन प्लानिंग, बेसिकली प्लानिंग। Now we will be showing you this. Mohit will be showing you about, telling you about the 3D model of the institute campus and also the WebGIS portal a bit. Just a brief introduction to it. So, Mohit, are you there? Come on.
Yeah, Rishabh, I'm here.
Hello.
Hello, Rishabh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, our project deals with a 2D and 3D data creation and analysis. In this project, we created geospatial dataset on a 2D and 3D workspace, designed and built network dataset and defined connectivity rules and its attribute for the network dataset. Like software technology we use in this project are ArcGIS Pro, ArcGIS Online, ArcMap, ArcGIS Enterprise, Open Data Kits. These are the software we use. Like next slide. Like as you can see, this is the overview of the web app of our campus. Each polygon representing some features in vector data type, and its values or attributes are stored in tabular format, which you cannot see now. Next slide. Like these are all in the form of vector polygons. Like each and every features in vector data types, each having some attributes that are stored in tabular formats. This is the top view. In the next slide, you can see the 3D view of this projects. Like this is here, it is the 3D view. Here you can see in 3D scenes. These are exactly the same as of our buildings in our campus.
Highly accurate.
Like highly accurate, fully accurate things. These are exactly the same. Like here is a short animation. It will be starting soon. Like these are our department buildings. Starting from department buildings. Followed by these are our workshops and hostels, grounds, guest house, residential buildings. So these are our. So you've been thinking how to design this. So we will teach you in later workshops. Thank you.
So on this note, we will be concluding, right? So Aditya, you there?
Yeah, thank you,
You didn't
Veer.
sleep, right?
No. It was very wonderful and amazing session. So, audience, if you have any doubt, you can put it in the chat box. I will pick up from there.
Can they chat like?
Yeah, you can unmute and ask yourself also.
You should unmute, right?
हेलो
हेलो।
हेलो हाँ what knowledge is needed for learning GIS
नॉलेज
yeah
नॉलेज तो क्या चाहिए, नॉलेज तो बेसिकली सभी सीखोगे तुम, ऐसा कुछ खास चाहिए नहीं। जीआईएस मैंने बता ही दिया तुम्हें, मतलब ये सारे एप्लीकेशंस थे। जीआईएस में बेसिकली आपको सीखना है तो डिजिटाइजेशन वगैरह होगा। अभी कल वर्कशॉप्स है ना, कल और परसों, उसमें
okay
सब कवर हो जाएगा, उसमें तुम सीख जाओगे। लो हैंड्स ऑन करना, साथ साथ उसको फॉलो करने की कोशिश करना।
okay
हमें कोई प्रीरिक्विजिट है लैंग्वेज?
लैंग्वेजेस तो जैसे वेब डेवलपमेंट के हिसाब से जावास्क्रिप्ट वगैरह होती है। मतलब अभी वेब डेवलपमेंट आपको इंटरेस्ट है तो वेब डेवलपमेंट सीखते रहो साथ साथ। अब जीआईएस का इंटीग्रेशन फिर इजी हो जाता है उस हिसाब से। मतलब ठीक है, अभी एक प्रॉब्लम आई जैसे, तो जैसे वेब ऐप जो हम वेब एप्लीकेशन जो हमने बनाई है इसको अभी होस्ट करना है। तो अभी होस्ट करने के लिए नॉलेज चाहिए डेवऑप्स की, तो पढ़ना पड़ेगा, बस
और
वही है।
और बाकी मशीन लर्निंग और डेटा साइंस भी काफ़ी इसमें इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हैं, तो उसके लिए तुम पाइथन भी पढ़ सकते हो।
पाइथन तो
ओके भाई, अभी इमरजेंसी बेसिस में कुछ चाहिए इस वर्कशॉप के लिए?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज तो कुछ नहीं चाहिए ज़्यादा। बेसिक बेसिक डिजिटाइजेशन वगैरह कवर करेंगे। डिजिटाइजेशन और दो तीन चीज़ें हैं, वो एनालिसिस वगैरह जो मैंने बात करा था, जिसमें नेटवर्क एनालिसिस या समथिंग लाइक दैट जो भी है, वो सब उस पर ट्राई करेंगे थोड़ा बहुत। देखो सीखते हैं, वो साथ साथ सीखना ही है सब। और कुछ?
ओके भैया, ठीक है।
कल जो वर्कशॉप होगी उसके उसके लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? यानी रजिस्टर वजिस्टर करना पड़ेगा या फिर यहीं पे होगी?
हाँ, सिमिलर टू व्हाट हैपेंड टुडे राइट। आज जो होगा वैसे ही होगा।
We will share the link with you and you can join in. The time is already told to you, right?
मेल आ ही गया था आपके पास। Okay, so let's conclude.
I think there are, yeah, I think there are no more questions. So thank you very much, Rishabh Bhaiya and Mohit Bhaiya. We all were very grateful to have you today. I would like to thank the whole team for working behind this event, and thanks for giving me this opportunity to host today's session. Thank you, audience, for turning up. You can leave now. Thank you.
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू।
Thank you for being patient listeners, right? Thank you. Okay, Ash.
Tomorrow again we will join at 6:30, right?
Hmm.
We will send the reminders